sorry. Mike would help. We're going to start the evening with a salute to the flag, and we ask that everyone stay standing for a moment of silence for the 2 middle school students who were killed in the car crash last night. Our sympathies and support go out to everyone in the Roslyn School District. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have a lot going on in our meeting tonight, but we're going to start with our agenda. Item D, approval of minutes. Item E, acknowledgement and acceptance of financial reports and budget transfers as printed. Communications to the Board of Ed. Communications were received from Sandy Pollock, Brian and Amy Smith, Ashley Fucarino, Jean and Anthony DiBiase, Rob Cheeseman, Riley Smith, Shannon Smith-Dunn, Stan Feinberg, Tahara Anderson, Lisa Shapiro, Karen Thompson-David, Linda Allback, Lauren and Matthew McHale, Christina Ferrara-Muter, Amy Fuchs-Zelch, and Stephen Lipolis. And do I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then turn it over to Mr. McNamara for his superintendent's report.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for attending tonight. Such a special night here for us for a number of different reasons. And I'm going to start, just as we always do, with some good news and celebrations. We just had the privilege, about a half hour ago, to recognize our staff members that after 4 years have earned tenure. We had a nice reception over in our cafeteria. We got to celebrate with them and their families. And we wanted to take a moment at the beginning of the meeting to recognize them on this outstanding accomplishment. We pride ourselves on certainly being rigorous in terms of our hiring practices here and looking for outstanding educators. And I am just proud to say that this group it truly meets that criteria. Tonight, the board is going to be recognizing these outstanding folks on this milestone in their careers. So congratulations to these educators. I'm going to read their names. I just ask if they could please stand, and then we'll recognize them. Jeannie Cho, yeah, please. Laura Clark. Erin Joyce. Nicole Ramanula. Lauren Furchi. James Ponzone. Samira Cassidy. Val Gompers. Caitlin Wong. Ariel Adrian. Kara Dessen. Justine Hernandez. And we're also recognizing 3 folks that received tenure earlier this year that we're celebrating tonight as well. Samantha Barrett. Maria Malaganos. And Kelsey Rieger. Congratulations to all of you. All right. Also, interestingly enough, we have 3 folks that are on the other end of their careers that are we will be recognizing tonight that are going to be leaving us at the end of this school year. So I wanted to start tonight with Don Camp. Don is here with us this evening. Don works in district office. He's been with us for the past 5 years. He served as the district messenger and a bus driver here in the district. I've had the pleasure of working with Don each day. His office, I guess I'm using that term generously, is located right across from the way from me. And I just want to start by thanking Don for his dedication and service to us. He's a pleasure to work with each and every day, just willing to do whatever needs to be done, and does so easily, kindly, and it's just always such a pleasure. When I think of Don, I also think of him bringing in great treats to the office, which is one thing he is known for, particularly those gourmet donuts, Don, that you bring in from that gourmet donut shop that is absolutely delicious. But Don, I thank you for your dedicated service. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and we want to wish you all the best in your retirement and continued health and happiness. So congratulations, Don Camp. All right, we have 2 members of our teaching staff that are retiring at the end of the year as well. And I'd like to start with Kathy Butler. Kathy, where are you? Is she here? Was she not able to make it? Okay. I'm going to say a few nice things about her. Kathy is a special educator here at Wantagh High School, and also a graduate of Wantagh High School, graduated in 1986, and came back to us just a couple of years later. She spent the past 26 years here. When I think of the words Wantagh Warrior, I think of Kathy. Truly represents that through and through. She is the type of educator that would just do anything for her students and for her students' success. She works tirelessly at various events throughout the district. You'll frequently see her supervising a sporting event or at an extracurricular event, giving out COVID tests with the superintendent one day after school. Whatever it is that needed to be done, she was there doing it. She's been the ultimate warrior for us, and I just want to congratulate her and wish her all the best in her retirement. So congratulations to Kathy Butler. And then also tonight, the man himself, the legend, Mr. Sal Muley. Where is Sal hiding? Where is Sal? Did he not come tonight either? Oh my gosh, he was having a hard time with retirement. All right, so Sal. When I think of Sal, I just don't know even where to start. There's just so many things. So Mr. Muley has just been first of all, he joined us here after student teaching. He student taught here in the district, and then was quickly hired to do some subbing and then a leave replacement, and that was in 1992, and then in 93, permanent position, and has been here ever since. As primarily here in the middle school as a science teacher, and he's just been a fixture, teaching our earth science courses. He also has created just probably the most premier hydroponic lab in all of Long Island, if not the state. When I say Mr. Muley is old school, I truly mean that. By from his, whether you're talking about his flip phone, yes, flip phone, or his dot matrix printer that he still uses, to floppy disks. I think there's still some in his classroom. He is just that. But his connections with students, his ability to inspire them and inspire them to do research and inspire them to be lifelong learners in science is truly tremendous. To say that he has a passion for what he does is an understatement. He is frequently seen here over vacations during the summer months, tending to his lab to make sure that that it is up and running and successful. Dedicated, putting his own resources into what he does, and he is going to be sorely missed, and certainly will leave a lasting legacy at Wantagh Middle School. So congratulations to Sal Muley. All right, we have a bunch of folks in red shirts here tonight, and we want to talk a little bit about that. I guess about almost, maybe a little bit over 4 weeks ago, I got a phone call on a Thursday morning from Dr. Gazzone, our principal at Wantagh High School, and he says, I've got an idea, and it's kind of crazy. Somebody called me and said, we've got an opportunity to participate in this program. He goes, I don't know much about it yet, but I think we should do it. And we took a couple days to learn a little bit about it, and I said, it's not something we should do, it's something we have to do. We haven't had an opportunity to participate in something called the Soaring Valor Program. And the Soaring Valor Program is part of the Gary Sinise Foundation. And Gary Sinise's foundation does amazing work to support our veterans, to support our first responders, and as we did some research, we were blown away by the work that they do. It is truly remarkable. We got to learn more about it, and we had to put this program together in a very short time frame. The trip was happening in just a couple of weeks. So what the trip was it was going to be 20 of our Wantagh High School students that got to accompany 20 World War II veterans to New Orleans to spend 3 days there, to travel through the World War II Museum in New Orleans with those World War II veterans. And we're thrilled tonight to have our 20 students with us and 4 of our World War II veterans. Please give these 4 gentlemen a round of applause. So in my 29 years in education, I have got to have lots of different experiences and travel on various trips with students. I've never had one quite like the 3 days that I had. I had the distinct pleasure of accompanying our students and our vets, and it was truly a life-changing experience for me. I know it was for our students. I know it was for our staff that got to participate. We got to learn from the greatest generation and some of the most amazing men that I have ever met in my life. The stories they shared, the way that our students and our vets engage with one another to learn from each other was truly tremendous. And I can't say enough and thank the Gary Sinise Foundation enough for allowing us to participate in that amazing experience. We're going to take a few minutes tonight to recognize everybody that's here. We have various people we'd like to call up, but we want to start with someone that we are so thankful that she reached out to us, a member of our community that is connected to the Gary Sinise Foundation, who reached out to us to participate in this program. And it's a result of that we were able to have this experience for our kids. So Mary Farrell's here tonight. Mary is a Wantagh resident. Her students attended Wantagh schools, and we had the pleasure of reconnecting with her daughter, who's a Wantagh grad, while we were down there. And I'm going to just ask Mary to come up. I know Dr. Gazzone, and invite Dr. Gazzone as well, to just thank Mary and present her with a few things. So please welcome up Mary Farrell.
So I told myself I wasn't going to tear up or cry at all tonight. I said I did enough of that on the trip. I think we all did, but I think the first round of applause we gave our veterans, I already had a couple tears come out. So I'm sure there might be a couple more to come. I don't know what to say.
That's unusual.
I get that a lot, yeah. But Mary is like a little angel, and that is the truth. I mean, I got a phone call, and my secretary, I should say, got a phone call, and she's like, this woman called, and she said something about taking kids, escorting some vets down to New Orleans, all expenses paid. And I was kind of walking by my secretary. I was like, oh, it was another one of those calls. And then I was like, wait, what? And I was like, sounds crazy, right? She's like, does sound a little crazy. I said, all right, let's bring her in. I said, let's bring her in. So we set an appointment. I filled in Mr. McNamara a little bit for Mary to come in, and I'm not a very trusting person, and I think the foundation will tell you that. I did lots of checks and balances on this one, right? Like, what's the catch? Like, I know you want like a deposit or something like that, right? And I had Dr. Woodman and Miss Rossley, who was just, I'd say, tremendous in helping me or helping us organize this trip, join our meeting, and it was the three of us, Miss Farrell, and some members of the organization, and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing in terms of what they were willing to offer our should be addressing the board. I'm sorry, our community, and you know it was tight, right? And one of the first things I said to Ms. Farrell was this timeline's really, really tight because we also have a break coming up. So it really had to all be arranged before the break. And I said to her, I said, you know, this might be tight for this year. Is this something that we can do next year? And, you know, she looked at me and was like, gotta be honest, no way. Like, this is it. Like, this is it. This is it for New York, right? This is it for New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the region. We're going to California or Texas or something like that. And right away, Dr. Woodman, Ms. Rossley, and I looked at each other and we said, okay, we got to do this. My big thing was I wasn't going to be the principal that said no to this trip, and I looked on the news and I saw one of our surrounding districts on a flight heading to New Orleans with these heroes that defended our freedoms. But all of this is because of Mary. For whatever reason, you decided to pick up that phone and call us, and I know you're a Wantagh resident, but you could have called many, many other schools. You decided to call us, and you changed all their lives. Everyone in red, you changed their lives forever. And they'll tell you that. You know, we have like the video reflections that demonstrate their thought processes and how they've shared with us that their lives have changed forever. Our people in white, our chaperones, you know, they'll tell you my life has changed forever. And I very much hope so for our vets that our kids made a positive impression on each of you because we owe you the best. And Mary, I can't thank you enough. And so we have a couple things for you. Just one of the things I want to give you, I don't know if you have it, and for the community to know, part of this trip was, we kind of found out last second, was they asked for like a mail call. So on the plane ride home, they do a mail call, and all our vets get letters and packages, just thank you letters. And Mary, I don't know if you have a copy of this or no? Okay, yeah, I want you to have it. So within, I want to say, like, I found out on the Monday, I think, before we were going away on Wednesday, and by the end of Tuesday, we had from our school over 70 letters from students in our building thanking our veterans for their service and for the freedoms that we enjoy today. And Mayor, I think it's just very fitting that you get a copy of this, because we're very thankful for what you did for our students in our community. Okay.
It's always hard following Dr. Gazzone. Hi, I'm Chris Widman. I'm the assistant principal here. I was fortunate enough to have gone on this trip. And as everybody said already, it changed my life too. So much so, and the staff and the students will attest to it. The other day, we had a faculty meeting, and we showed the video, which everybody's going to see, and we had the students speak to our staff about it and sit down with staff members and share their experience. And then I followed up at the end. And like Dr. Gazzone, I swore I wasn't going to cry. But the kids saw me cry the other day at a faculty meeting, because the emotion that I felt for what I heard and what I saw from everybody there was amazing. So without any further ado, I'd like to tell you who the people were that went along on the trip. It was Mr. McNamara accompanied us, Dr. Gazzone, Ms. Prisco, if you could stand up, please, Ms. Rossley, Ms. Klein, and Mr. Jackson. Ms. Pepe was another teacher that came along with us, but she could not be here tonight. And now I'd like to introduce you to the amazing students who were part of this whole thing. Kara Anderson. Kenneth Annunziata. Ryan Albright. Emily Avina. Sean Brown. Thomas Conway. Noah Corwin. James Curran. Stephen D'Amato. Ryan Horowitz. Christopher Aiva. Catherine Killian. Angelina Lamacchia. Nicholas McDonald. Joseph Mero. Michael Michich. Lily Sloves. Nicole Tobia. Nora Toscano. And Christina West. And then if Christina, Ryan, Joe, and Nora can stay after the thing there, because I think they're going to. Christina, you want to go first? Oh, who's going to go? Christina, you want to go first?
Hi. My name is Christina West. I went on this trip recently to New Orleans, and it was one of the most greatest experiences ever. My veteran was Clifford During, right in the front row here. And he is probably the most interesting and amazing person I've ever met in my entire life. He was a Marine and served in the 3rd Amphibious Battalion during his battle in Okinawa in World War II. During our time together, he told me about his stay on the ship for 4 long months. He described how there was no fresh food or water, there was no bathing, and the only source of bathing was to go in the salt water, or trying to wash yourself from the fresh water coming from the faucets when they would clean dishes. He also described when some did enter the salt water, they would get terrible rashes on their marks and bodies, causing terrible pain. The depression and sickness of this ship was unimaginable. He also described how when he did arrive on the island, the propaganda surrounding the Americans was so immense. Every person on that island believed that when the Americans arrived, they would do harm to everyone. Mr. During watched from terror as all these people would jump off cliffs to land on the hard rocks below just to get away from them. Many of the Americans gave food and water to the children as they had no sense of what was happening during this war. During the second day in the museum, Mr. During described something to me that will stay with me forever. He said, even though they hurt everyone as much as they could, I forgive them. They took away my friends, my relatives, my freedoms, but I still forgive them. I have no hatred for anyone that was involved in this war. It was a terrible time, but all we could do was forgive. I thank Gary Sinise, the foundation, Mr. During, and all those involved for this incredible experience. I can't put into words how much this trip meant to me, but thank you so much.
My name is Ryan Horowitz, and I am so honored to be here right now. My veteran was Hank, right there in the gray shirt, probably the most positive and amazing man I have ever met. So Hank basically was a legend straight out of the womb. Hank was a 2-pound baby, and still managed to emerge from that. He did not speak his first word until he was over 3 years old. And fun fact, that word was dog. 4 years. Okay, I stand corrected. So, Hank did struggle with that a little. He had difficulties in school, but Hank has been so positive. He never let that get to him. He knew from the beginning he wanted to work with his hands, and when the World War broke out, he was eager to join. He initially was in the Army Reserves, but he wasn't totally on board with that since he was still just on that base, so he decided to join the Navy. He was on a destroyer for 1 year, and then he transferred to an aircraft carrier for 3 years. He constantly saw ships fly overhead coming back from missions. He was an engineer below the deck, and he basically kept the ship running. Hank experienced, just like any other soldier, all the ups and downs of the war. He lost friends. He went through terrible hurricanes, as seen in the movie Caine Mutiny. But he sailed the world, and he still somehow persevered and has been so incredibly positive in his life after the war. He served with the Boy Scouts for 47 years. He's impacted so many lives, and I'm just one of those people who feel so blessed to be standing here with him. He also loves to act and sing, as you'll be hearing more of later tonight. And, and he is so amazing. I wish I could do more and put it more into words, what meeting him and having a lifelong friendship with him has meant to me, but I think I've said all I can already. So please give an enormous round of applause for Hank.
Hello, I'm Joseph Merrow, and my veteran was Eugene Zanger. Eugene is 95 years old, and Eugene is a beast. I learned a lot from Eugene on this trip. The amount I've learned from him is insane. Even walking to the museum, the whole day, both days we walked an enormous amount, and something I found funny was I was complaining my feet were hurting, my hips were hurting, and Eugene would just run away, and we lose him every time. But we always found him. Eugene, he served 1946 to 1947 in Korea. And Eugene, he liked talking more about psychiatry than the war. Eugene went to school for 8 years. He has a PhD. He still isn't fully retired at 95 years old, which is an amazing lesson. And Eugene thought it was just his duty to go to the war. When I asked Eugene how he just went to the war and it was no big deal for him, he said it's just what they did, and it was no big deal for them. It's just what, we go to college, they went to the Army, and it's what he had to do. So I think I learned a big lesson from Eugene. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do and get things done. And I want to thank you, Eugene. I learned a lot from you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nora Toscano, and on the trip I had the absolute honor of being paired with Bill Nasinovich, who's right here in the front. Bill served in the Navy and was stationed in San Diego for a majority of his time and briefly in the Marshall Islands from 1944 to 1945. He was an engineer on the famous Higgins boats and helped to lower and raise the ramps in the back of the boats as they hit the beaches. While we were in New Orleans, he told me that he practiced landing on the beaches while in San Diego between 300 and 500 times, and that he had to learn how to perfectly time it so that the waves didn't sink the boats. He also told me that after he learned how to do it, he trained other soldiers to be engineers on the boats, and he was impacting thousands of lives even before he impacted mine. After serving, he got married and raised 4 daughters. He's currently 101 years old and is still as feisty and charming today. Being able to go on this trip with him and his daughter Susan was honestly one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my life thus far, and I know that without a doubt it will be one of the most meaningful experiences I will ever live through. Bill is one of the most courageous, wise, funny, and just overall incredible people I've ever met, and certainly the best dancer. I'm so unbelievably grateful for this trip and the opportunity I was given to spend time with him. You changed my perspective on so many things in my life, Bill, and I cannot possibly thank you enough for that. Bill Nasinovich, everybody.
At this time, everyone can sit. We're going to play a 4-minute slideshow of the trip.
was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a-blowin' reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot, he blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes the company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie-woogie bugle, he was busy as a bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump eight to the bar. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Do-do-do-do-da-da, do-da-da, do-do, he blows it eight to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with him. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Sleep with boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bright. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really breaks it up when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Till then, my darling, please wait for me. Till then, no matter when, it will be someday. I know I'll be back again. Please wait. Till then, our dreams will live though we are apart. Our love, I know we'll keep in our hearts. Till then, when all the world wait for me. Although there are oceans we must cross and mountains that we must climb, I know every gain must have a loss. So pray that our loss is nothing but time. Till then, let's dream of what there will be. Till then, we'll call on each.
From moments of awe in front of masterpieces to cry laughing with your tour group. Make
we had a
memories
Chick-fil-A in there just so everyone got the full idea of what we went through.
Unforgettable travel experiences.
But we are just going to ask two more students to speak about the experience. The previous four students wanted to make sure they gave a nice tribute to the vets that they were with. But I'm going to ask Noah and Angelina to come on up. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angelina Lamacchia, and I'm a senior here at Wanta High School. When I first heard about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I was driving home from Florida where I was touring colleges. My mom read me the email right about when we hit Georgia, and the second she told me what I needed to do to be considered, I began writing my statement in the backseat of the car. I thought so many people would jump on this opportunity that maybe if I got my material in early enough, I would have a higher chance of being selected. I never thought in a million years I would be lucky enough to actually have been chosen, but I'm so thankful that I was. Looking back on my time with my veteran, Charlie Moore, and the other veterans, I truly think what they did was incredible. I could not imagine voluntarily leaving home at the age and fighting in a war where my life was not guaranteed. I'm so appreciative of what they have done for this country because it has allowed me to live the life I do today. As I sat with my 96-year-old best friend, I cannot believe all of the stories he was telling me. Charlie was a Navy deep-sea diver off the coast of Texas. When he told me how he and his team had to save several burn victims from a fatal plane crash, I saw his whole demeanor change. Witnessing him go from CC, or Crazy Charlie as he calls himself, to completely grief-stricken was heartbreaking. He told me talking about it made him relive that horrific moment all over again, and how he told it made me feel like I was there as well. All of the stories he told me I will take with me forever. Not only did I get the opportunity to hear stories of the war firsthand, I was able to form a friendship I never thought I would have. I hope that me and Charlie stay in touch because he truly has changed my life. We do text daily, and I'm really glad I got the opportunity to meet him. I will never forget this experience and just want to say thank you again to Dr. Gazone, Dr. Whitman, and Mr. McNamara for making this a reality. It is truly unbelievable that we were given this opportunity on such short notice. Talking with these true warriors has impacted my life forever, and I'm so incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Noah Corwin, and I want to begin this by saying thank you to everyone who made this unique experience possible. Thank you to our administration who worked hard to get us on this trip, and thank you to the Gary Sinise Foundation for giving us this opportunity. But most importantly, thank you to these amazing men and women who sacrifice everything to give us the blessed lives we live today. This experience has truly changed my life. I want to give you an opportunity to learn at least a fraction of what these men have taught me. These warriors have displayed incredible acts of valor and honor. They understood sacrifice and what it means to be part of something bigger than yourself. My personal veteran's name was Earl Wergen. A month before his 17th birthday, he signed up for the Navy. He just left the date of birth section blank because he truly know what it meant to serve. He was stationed on a submarine hunting ship in the Pacific, where him and his comrades successfully destroyed 2 Japanese submarines. Earl is a brave and kind soul who understood what it means to sacrifice. As we walked through the museum with our veterans, viewing the exhibits, it brought up many emotions and memories. While walking through the Operation Overlord section, one veteran, George Stites, stopped at the Utah Beach display, and he took a minute to himself. Finally, he said, "This was me." George made his way from the beaches of Normandy all the way to Berlin before coming home and leading a wonderful life. The courage of this man and his fellow warriors is what defined the greatest generation and secured the freedoms that we know. Also, while on the trip, retired 4-star General Vince Brooks gave a speech to us and the veterans. He spoke about how these men were called to action and rose to the occasion to fight tyranny halfway across the world. But he also gave words to our generation. He told us he knew, if called upon, we would step up as well. And this stuck with me. It was a question I often asked myself. Can I do what these heroes did? While on this trip, I asked every vet that I spoke to if they would do it again, and they all responded the same way, without question. This made me realize that if called upon, I and many of my peers would rise to the occasion. We would look up and emulate the ideals of those men and women who sacrificed everything to save our freedom, our country, and even the world. Once again, thank you to all the veterans. Your sacrifice will never be forgotten.
So I just want to give a couple last thank yous. Just briefly on the slideshow, you may have noticed like the warrior warrior gear package. We provided the vets. Sorry. We had a salute to service hat with our Wanto W with the American flag on it. That was approved by the Board of Education to purchase, and all of our veterans got a hat, as well as all our students and the chaperones. We did purchase a couple more hats, and we would like to give them out as thank yous. So for the Board of Education, we want to thank all of you for your swift decision-making in approving this trip. I know that overnight trips take often months to approve, to go through a process, and you did it really overnight. And without your approval, we would not have been able to participate. So for our appreciation, we're going to give each one of you a hat, as well as a thank you letter package, just so you could see what our students wrote to our vets on in the mail call. So thank you. We would also like to thank our central administration for the same support. Again, these things take time, and just like that, everyone backed it. Mr. Cedrone, who controls the money, backed us too, just for the hats, and we appreciate the hats. But we want to also give you guys a little token of our appreciation for your support for approving this trip. So here's a hat for each of you. We would also like to thank our Booster Club. So that's Lisa Giacometti and Kristen Kanicki. Our Booster Club provided shirts to our vets. They donated 20 of them. Each shirt was a Wanto High School shirt with an American flag on the back. So we thank you, and we have hats for you too. So you guys stand up, guys. They're right there. They're right there. And the last group I want to thank, they do a lot of great work for us in the community, not just at the high school, but district-wide. They're constantly supporting our initiatives for our teachers to do great work with our students. Once I spoke to Miss Liz Goober, and we got on the phone, and I told her what we were doing. She insisted that the foundation have a role in this trip and somehow. So what they came up with was these salute to service mugs that we got you that all said Wanto thanks you with the American flag on it. So that that was a pretty it was like $800. So to get all those, and again that was donated by the foundation. So Ms. Gruber, and also if you have multiple members of the board, I have 7 hats. I know there's 7 board members, so we appreciate your support, and so we have hats for each of you. And lastly, we have a performance we're gonna close with tonight. Would you like to come on up, Hank? Would you like the mic? You can do it without the mic. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. So this is a sing-along if you know the words. Thank. Just for everybody, this was what like the whole trip was, right? Seriously, like all the emotions that we felt, like we wanted to try to bring back the trip, you know, in 25 minutes as best we can to let you all know how, you know, what we all went through. And I hope we succeeded. I hope you were emotional and you cried and you laughed and you smiled. But just imagine 2 to 3 days of this, right? And what our kids got out of it. It was just amazing. So thank you.
This was an amazing presentation, overwhelming how much you guys actually got out of this trip. And us as the board, when we received our board mail the Friday, I think it was March 24th, we said, of course, we're going to let them go. This is going to be an unbelievable experience. But I have to be honest with you, I honestly didn't think that we were going to have enough kids applying for this position to go. I didn't think there was going to be enough interest. And 2 weeks later, I found out that there were about 50 to 70 applicants, and they were needing to figure out who was going to go. So I was just filled with so much pride for our student body to want to take part in this experience and take advantage of this opportunity. It says a lot about our student body. And we thank all of our veterans who are here tonight, who shared their stories with our children, and it's something they'll take forever with them. So thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, as we close, just once again, thank you to Dr. Gazzone, Dr. Widman, Ms. Rossley, and the high school admin team for putting this together on short notice. Huge thank you to them. And just one more message from me to our students. I said this to them on the trip. Couldn't have been prouder of them. The job they did, their engagement with our vets. They took this experience as seriously as anybody could. I know they got so much out of it. Every parent that's here in the room, you should be extremely proud of your children and the job they did on this trip. They were unbelievable, and I just want to thank them for that. And once again, to the greatest generation, gentlemen, we appreciate that you're here tonight. We appreciate your service, and we couldn't have been happier to had that experience for 3 days with you. There's a reason why they're the greatest generation. So thank you, gentlemen. All right, we're going to take a brief recess before we move on with our board agenda tonight. We have a budget hearing that we are going to be doing this evening, so we're going to just take a brief pause, allow for people that need to leave to leave, and then we'll start our meeting up again in about 5 minutes. start back up? Yeah. Okay. I got it. Yep. All right. Once again, thank you all for attending. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to transition now to the next portion of our meeting, which is our official budget hearing for the 23-24 budget. So this may be one of the most difficult transitions I think I've made in my career, going from our presentation we just had to the 23-24 budget. So thank you once again for attending. As part of this meeting annually, our first meeting in May, as we're coming up on the budget vote, we hold our annual budget hearing. We've been doing these presentations for the past several months, and this will really just be a summary of those presentations. All of the resources that we've been presenting around our 23-24 budget are online, and they're on our district website. There's a link on our main page for budget, so you can find all of the more detailed resources here. So this will be a general overview for you of the process and where we currently stand. One of the things that we incorporate to this process is a series of opportunities for community feedback as we're building our budget. Building our budget is a process that starts in October each year, and then as we build our different department budgets and meet with all of our budget supervisors, we then put a final document together in January to start to discuss with the Board of Education. And then ultimately we have a series of forums. You can see these are the forums that we held this year. We also do a series of focus groups. We had 2 this year, and those are really just small group conversations that people in the community sign up for to participate in, and we hold those just to have those additional opportunities to engage with people about the budget. And then we do a community budget survey. These are some of the goals included by the board that we look to include in the budget this year. Certainly maintaining all of our outstanding programs, reducing elementary class size. We wanted to look at opportunities to expand our UP program, enhance some of our new course offerings, upgrade technology, enhance district facilities, and expand some security initiatives across the district. Good news is when we surveyed a lot of these goals, we're in line with the feedback that we received from the community. Reducing class size, expanding course offerings, mental health supports, district-wide security, UPK, were all things that came up in our survey as well. This is where we ultimately landed with our 23-24 budget. I'm happy to report below our tax cap, it's a 2.57% increase. And a 5.3% increase budget to budget. That increase budget to budget is being offset in large part by increased state aid this year. We're receiving, as I'll touch on in a minute, a sizable increase in our aid. Part of this budget vote as well is going to be an expenditure out of our capital reserve fund that I'll touch on in a second. There are a number of capital projects that I'll highlight that we'll look to do next year. This was part of our initiative as well. We thank the community for their support of our bond in December. 2 of our 3 bond. Wow, somebody was unhappy about the bond. 2 of our 3, I apologize for that, 2 of our 3 bond initiatives were approved by the voters, and that work you'll see will start to commence over the next year and a half. Most of those projects are in process where we've submitted them up to the State Education Department for review and for approval, and then we can start the process of going out to bid. The larger projects will commence summer of 2024. We have some smaller projects that are already underway. Some of the things in this upcoming budget cycle are roof replacements, Wantagh High School, Wantagh L, Wantagh High School athletic field scoreboard, exterior door replacements as part of our security initiative, some rooftop HVAC work in the high school gym, masonry work across the district. We have something that's commencing over at Mandalay Elementary School already, and then some hallway ceiling replacements at Wantagh Middle School. This is the other item that you'll be voting on in May in a couple weeks. is the capital reserve proposition, and that's to complete that work that I just highlighted. This is just the legalese for the actual proposition that's on the ballot. I referenced the state aid increases. State aid makes up about 25% of our budget and will total $21,900,000 next year. It's about a $2.5 million increase, which will help offset significantly some of our really big budget drivers that are highlighted here. The largest one that's impacting us really this year and and last year as well, had a huge impact on us, is health insurance. Health insurance rates, as all of you know, whether you work in private or the public sector, have gone up significantly, and that's a $1.5 million driver in our budget. We also are expanding some of our special education offerings next year. We are adding to our 611 program at Mandalay Elementary School, which has been a very successful program for us that has allowed students that would have in past years go out of district for services can now stay in district. So that's also a driver in our budget, as you can see here. This is the health insurance that I referenced. You can see the 27.6% increase. That's just over the past 2 years. The average family plan for Empire that most of our employees have access to is over a $38,000 plan a year, and it's just about doubled in a very short period of time. And then staffing. Staffing is the biggest portion of our budget. Staffing and benefits, that's salary and benefit costs. That makes up 75% of our annual budget. Contingency budget is always something that we want to avoid in terms of having to go in that direction. That would be about a $1.6 million reduction in program if we are in that situation. Good news for our budget is we're able to really achieve all those goals that I outlined. We're going to be expanding our UPK program to 8 classes next year, which is fantastic. Over 140 students will have access to free UPK. We're going to be able to add some new course offerings at both Wantagh Middle School and Wantagh High School, including an expansion of our science research program. And we're going to be able to reduce elementary class size, which was a goal for us ever since, really for the past 3 years, when unfortunately we had a failed first vote of our budget. As I mentioned earlier, all of these items are located on our district website, and the budget vote will take place Tuesday, May 16th. The hours of the budget vote are from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and they will be at each of our 3 elementary schools. If you have any questions about where you vote, you feel free to reach out to our district clerk, Elaine McGuigan. She's happy to assist you with that. And that ends my report tonight. I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Reich to continue with our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McNamara. Back to our agenda. We're at item H, report of the administration. I'm sorry. No, I'm right. Yeah. Item H, report of the administration. Item H1, personnel actions, instructional staff. Item H1A, retirements. Again, we wish Mr. Millet and Mrs. Butler and Mr. Camp all the best. Item H1B, resignations. C, tenure recommendations. Again, congratulations to all that received tenure this evening. Item H1D, rescission of 6th instructional class. E, amendment for extra hours. F, appointment of summer personnel. G, requests for leave of absence. And H, appointment of instructional substitutes. Do I have a motion? No. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H2, personnel actions, civil service. H2, retirement. B, request for leave of absence. C, appointments of civil service personnel. D, appointment of non-instructional substitutes. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item H3, contractual and other authorizations. Item H3A, health service agreement. B, driver education in-car instruction program. C, textbook central. D, Wantagh Seaford Tract Center Courses Spring Program. E, budget increases. And F, extra classroom activity charter. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H3G, intergovernmental cooperative bid agreements. Item H, disposal of obsolete books. I, approval of election personnel for the 2023 school district elections. And item J, destruction of ballots. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item I, unfinished business, there is none. Item J, new business. J1, approval of committees on special education and preschool special education recommendations. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Just one other item, personnel item that we accepted just now, and that's the resignation from Mrs. Zimmer, our principal at Forest Lake. Mrs. Zimmer is moving on, and I wanted to just thank her for her service to our district. For the past 9 years, served as our assistant principal over at Wantagh L, and for the past 4 years at Forest Lake. We reached out to the Forest Lake community during the week to let them know we'll be starting the search process for Mrs. Zimmer's replacement, and that will begin quickly over the next couple of weeks, and we'll keep the community informed as we move through that process.
Great, thank you. We will now hear from our groups. So we'll start with our student government, Sean Brown and Nyla Lester.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for waiting all this time. April and May have been busy months here at the high school. Firstly, as everyone has seen here tonight with the honoring of our Soaring Valor veterans and students, this trip was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that we'll all remember it for the rest of our lives. April was National Autism Acceptance Month, and GO, or Student Government, wrapped up its campaign to educate students on celebrating differences and fostering inclusivity within the classroom. This included decorating the showcase with informational posters, an infinity sign, which is the sign that represents autism awareness, as well as making announcements every day on the loudspeaker to encourage autism acceptance.
The high school choral ensembles and orchestras flew out to Chicago on April 20th to perform at the World Strides Heritage Festival. The orchestra came in third place and also performed a joint piece with the chorus at Loyola University and a music clinic. This past weekend, the high school band ensembles went to Hershey, Pennsylvania to compete at the Hershey Park Music in the Parks Festival. All three bands took first, second, and third place. Congratulations to the band, chorus, and orchestra ensembles for these achievements.
For our student athletes, senior Jess Balkunis was selected to be in Newsday's All Long Island cheer team for 2023, and juniors Anthony and Joseph Clem were selected to be in Newsday's All Long Island wrestling team as well. Our lacrosse, badminton, track, baseball, and softball teams have all been having winning seasons, so we're really proud of that.
Looking ahead into May, junior prom will be held here in the gym on Saturday, May 13th. The department awards for seniors will take place on Monday, May 15th, and senior awards night will be on Tuesday, May 30th. Lastly, this week and next week, students across all 4 grades are taking AP tests, so good luck to everyone taking them. That's all for tonight. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. How about a Foundation for Educational Excellence?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Liz Goober on behalf of the Wantagh Foundation. Gail and Barbara are here tonight as well, but I'm coming up to represent. So first off, we want to extend our thank you to the Gary Canese Foundation and the Wantagh High School Administration and Board for coordinating an amazing experience for our students that had their with their World War II vets. The Wantagh Foundation was honored to be a small part of that life-changing experience that our high school students had of learning about World War II through the eyes of those who lived it and creating unforgettable bonds along the way. So again, thank you. We hope that everyone's having a great year, and we have 3 exciting things that we want to share. First, Summer Rec is underway. We've done some planning. At this point, we've completed our interviews for our counselors. We have about over 60 people 60 middle school and high school students that had interviewed. We have close to 180 students enrolled. So enrollment is filling up pretty fast. Our deadline for enrollment is June 1st. So more information about that can be available on our website. And I know that our district is going to send a final blast out for any parents that are interested in enrolling their children. Another thing we want to mention is that our teacher grants that we've had for the last couple of years is closing out for this year. This year we've issued 7 grants, a total of 15 in the last 2 years for all the teachers in the 5 different schools of Wantagh. A lot of these grants vary through areas of science, inclusion programs, field trips, art and drama, and other enrichment programs. So we want to again thank our teachers for submitting some thoughtful proposals, and we are just happy to be able to support such great initiatives in the classroom. Finally, we have some great news to share. Recently, the foundation was awarded a $25,000 grant through Nassau County. We are thrilled about this. We've been working with the district. We've met with Carol Ann and Mr. McNamara to find other ways that we can further enrich some of the great programs that we can have for our students. And, you know, we're very excited to be able to continue the work. So, again, we want to thank Nassau County for this very generous grant. And for our community at home, a lot of all the things that we can do is really couldn't be done without the support of our community and grants like this. So to learn more about us, please go to our website, and we welcome any support that our community can provide to us, because all the money that we provide goes right back to our district. So thank you, and we hope that everyone has a great remaining school year. Okay.
Thank you, Liz. And thank you to the foundation for working so hard to help our district. We appreciate it. How about PTA groups? Forest Lake, Katie or Laura?
Hi, good evening. I'm Laura Grassi. Just wanted to go over a couple of things happening at Forest Lake in the next 2 months. We had a very successful Parents' Night Out in partnership with Mandalay last weekend. Tomorrow is our staff luncheon. If you drive by the school tonight, you'll see we put up a sign for appreciation of all the staff. We are going to be sponsoring breakfast for them, and then a Cinco de Mayo themed lunch for tomorrow. Next week on Friday, May 12th is our annual plant sale. May 24th, in conjunction with Mandalay as well, we're doing Adventureland night, so they'll close the park down and everyone can go and enjoy. On June 6th is our field day. June 7th is we're attending the Ducks game, where band, orchestra, and chorus are going to be singing on the field with everybody. So everyone's really looking forward to that. We've sold about 450 tickets for that so far. On June 14th is our installation dinner. Next Tuesday is our last PTA meeting of the regular school year. And I just want to congratulate the following parents for coming in for executive board. We have Lindsay Vogler, Haley Rohe, Christine DeVito, Catherine Semler, Emily McCann, and Christine Rizzuto. And our new incoming president is Diana Serena. And I want to thank Katie Savage for her dedication and time to the Forest Lake PTA. She is on her way out over the last 2 years. A lot of great changes with her, so thank you so much for that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Mandalay, Suzanne or Danielle? Or both?
Good evening. I'm Danielle Taravecchia.
And I'm Suzanne Dressler.
Tonight we would like to congratulate all of the wonderful educators receiving tenure. Very well deserved.
We wanted to go over a few exciting things happening at Mandalay. We just had our Candyland dance. We had a whole theme. There was a gumball machine made out of balloons. We had candy necklaces. We had a whole candy table for the kids. Cotton candy, we sugared them up real good. We had a DJ, we had a photo booth, the kids all had a great time. The special person that brought them had a great time. And we want to thank the SEPTA for the sensory room that they provided for our special needs students. We just had a successful Parents' Night Out, as Laura just said, with Mulcahy's. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of great feedback on it. We just hosted our teacher appreciation breakfast this morning. We catered it from Jones Beach Deli to show our teachers just how thankful we are for them. We have our plant sale coming up next week. We have our Adventureland family outing on May 24th. We have the Ducks game coming up on June 9th. And our 5th graders are looking forward to dessert night and all their graduation festivities. We're beginning to tie up all the loose ends and get ready for their move to middle school. And we also are in the works with Mr. Bursky working on field day, and the PTA is going to be providing shirts for the entire school, including our pre-K class, so that everybody will be included in the day and the festivities. We're going to be providing the either ices or the Kona ice truck, and we're going to provide lunch for them as well.
And we would like to congratulate our new PTA board who was voted in last night. And thank you to all our 5th grade board parents who have been on our board and dedicated their time for a very long time. And I would love to thank Suzanne for the last 3 years, dedicated all of your time to Mandalay. You were unbelievable. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. And we'll be celebrating that on June 1st at our installation dinner. And can't wait. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Wanta L, Vinny or Bridget? No. SEPTA, Trisha or Liz? Or Mary Beth?
Hi, good evening. We also want to congratulate everyone who received tenure tonight, and thank you to the vets and the high school. It was a great presentation. We would like to also welcome our newly elected board members, Sophia Stepanoff and myself, our co-presidents, Belinda Rodriguez, as treasurer, Kristen Sullivan, as secretary, and Ways and Means, Jill Jansen and Christina Ferrara. We're looking forward to working closely with the Wantagh community. Our final meeting is June 14th. It's our big meeting. It's going to be the Friends of SEPTA Awards. So if anyone, we're taking, you could fill out the form on the Google form on our website. They're due on May 19th, and it's a really lovely meeting to honor those in the community that have worked with our children. We'd also like to thank Mandalay for collaborating with us on the sensory room for all the children at the dance. We really were able to, we appreciate that. And that's it for SEPTA. So, come on down.
It's 12.
What? I'm done with SEPTA.
Hi, Chrissy Rothap, 612 co-president. Shout out to Jen over there and to Mary Beth. Ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle. You've got kids to teach. Now you've got your tenure and you can finally breathe. On behalf of 612 Association, we would like to congratulate our newly tenured teachers and staff. May you have many enjoyable years of your career ahead of you.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the halls and back again. You teach our kids, you're a pal and a confidant. 612 showed our appreciation for the staff at both the Wantagh Middle and Wantagh High School today by providing a delicious staff luncheon that was sponsored by the Jones Beach Deli. We are so grateful for the wonderful staff at both schools and hope that everyone enjoyed their lunch today. Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down?
Oh, wait, I have one. Every rose has its thorn. Thank you to everyone who supported our 612 plant sale. All pre-order pickups will be next Thursday, May 11th at 5 p.m. outside the main entrance of Wantagh High School. We will have limited veggies and potted plants for sale as well.
Here's a little song Chrissy wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. At dinner time we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Already worried about what's for dinner next Thursday? We've got you covered with our Smashburger fundraiser on Thursday, May 11th. Please support 612 and Smashburger and enjoy a night with no dishes to clean.
I saw the sign. I opened up my eyes and saw the sign. All orders for our 8th grade graduation and senior graduation lawn signs have been placed. As soon as they are in, information about pickup will be sent out. Congrats to all of our 8th graders and, of course, to our seniors. Party like a rock star, party like a rock star. Remix! Celebrate good times. Come on, it's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on, let's celebrate and have a good time. Our 612 Association celebrated this week with our installation dinner for our incoming 2023-24 Executive Board. Thank you to those who were able to attend, and thank you to all of our volunteers and supporters. We also look forward to closing out this school year by celebrating the accomplishments of our students as we provide refreshments, decorations, and scholarships at our end of the year events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I think I was the biggest order on your plant sale, by the way. PTA Council, Cindy and Kim.
I'm not singing this one.
Okay.
Okay, on behalf of PTA Council, this past Saturday, the PTA Council hosted the Harlem Wizards at the Wantagh vs. Wantagh Warrior staff. We had an overwhelming turnout despite the weather outside. The teachers, faculty, staff, and administration that played were all amazing, and by the end, the score was tied. The final shot came down to Mr. McNamara, who unfortunately missed. However, it was not my words, I'm really sorry about that. It was a wonderful time for everyone and a super fun event to host. On behalf of the entire PTA Council, we would like to thank all of the players, volunteers, Eric Hirsch, who sung our national anthem, the parents and students that came to cheer their favorite teachers, and the entire Wantagh community for your help and support for this event. We raised enough money to give out several scholarships to our graduating seniors this year. Tuesday night, we had our installation dinner at the Irish Poet to install our new executive board. Thanks to the 612 Association, well, you're welcome, for setting everything up. Lastly, I want to congratulate all the teachers receiving tenure tonight and to our amazing students who were chosen to participate in the Soaring Valor program.
Thank you again. Sports Booster, Lisa or Kristen? They were here before. They cut out. Okay. Bandwagon, Brandy? No. And Drama Club, Kim or Susanna? Okay.
Hi, I'm Donna. Nothing really to report. The curtain has gone down. All the shows are done. We just finished the high school production of SpongeBob, and that was a lot of fun. I think everybody was surprised how great that show was. And that's really it. So we're winding down. The year went fast, and we just had a nice time. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we open the mic for our public comment session, on behalf of the Board of Ed, I'd like to read a statement regarding our mascot logo and name issue that we have before us. And I hope that this might address some of the questions and concerns that our community has. On Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, the New York State Department of Education adopted a new regulation regarding the prohibition of the use of indigenous names, mascots, and logos by public schools. The regulation took effect yesterday, May 3rd, 2023. It states that no public school in the state of New York may utilize or display an indigenous name, logo, or mascot other than for purposes of classroom instruction. As a result of this new regulation, the Wantagh School District is one of approximately 60 school districts in New York State that is impacted. The current nickname for our school is Warriors, and the logo includes a representation of a Native American figure. The Board of Education understands the emotion and pride our community, alumni, and students have with respect to the Warrior name and logo. The Warrior name is not just how we refer to our sports teams. It is how generations of Wantagh students and community members have identified themselves. It's tradition. Once a warrior, always a warrior. We hear you and share in your frustration caused by this new regulation. We do understand that the current logo may be offensive to Indigenous people and that a change needs to be made. We do not want to offend anyone with our logo and will have a process in place to develop a new one that represents the pride we all have in our school district. The district will be removing the Indigenous logo and imagery over the next 2 years as required by the regulation. A committee of various stakeholders, including students, alumni, and community members, will be recommending new imagery to replace that which is currently in place. However, we firmly believe that the district's warrior name is not in violation of the new regulation that was established by the Board of Regents. The warrior name does not fit into the definition in the new regulation, which states, Indigenous name, logo, or mascot means a name, symbol, or image that depicts or refers to Indigenous persons, tribes, nations, individuals, customs, symbols, or traditions, including actual or stereotypical aspects of Indigenous cultures used to represent a public school, including but not limited to such school sports teams. Therefore, the district would like to retain the nickname and effectively rebrand it. We fully understand the removal of other names that fall within the regulations definition and include actual or stereotypical aspects of Indigenous cultures. However, warrior does not fit into that category. We continue to hear the term vestige, meaning a trace or mark left by something that has vanished or no longer exists, being used as a reason for the change from the name warrior. This, however, does not appear anywhere in the new regulation. The regulation does not state that a name that is a vestige of former Indigenous imagery that falls into that category must be removed as well. The New York State Education Department has made statements that Chenango Valley School District in Binghamton would not have to change the warrior name because they use a Greek figure as their logo. This further indicates to us that NYSED does not believe the warrior name itself is offensive or that it refers to Indigenous cultures or that it is inherently a vestige, and therefore it can be successfully rebranded. In addition, as we shared at our last planning session, the costs the district will incur as a result of this change are substantial. Our current estimates are over $600,000 if both the warrior name and the imagery are changed. This cost is reduced significantly if the district removes the imagery only and rebrands the name. As this is an unfunded change that New York State Education Department is placing upon only a handful of districts across the state, the cost savings by maintaining the name should be taken into consideration as well. Again, while we fully understand the need to remove the current logo, the idea that the warrior name is now a vestige and must be removed is where we believe the New York State Education Department interpretation of the regulation goes one step too far. If other districts can successfully use the warrior name with other non-Indigenous imagery, why can't the Wantagh School District? The warrior name is not synonymous only with or indicative of the Indigenous people, and the Board of Ed is confident that we can effectively rebrand it with input from our students, district staff, and community members. To this end, we have retained outside legal counsel and initiated discussions around legal options should the New York State Education Department take issue with the district's plan. We have also reached out to other warrior districts to learn how they may be proceeding and determine if and how we can work together as our districts look to keep our warrior name. Additionally, we have been in contact with the New York State Education Department to discuss our approach, but have not yet been successful in coming to an agreement. We look forward to a continued conversation with New York State Education Department and will continue to keep our community informed as we proceed. Thank you. If anyone would like to come to the mic is open.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is Michelle Beretta. I unfortunately learned tonight while watching the news that the Wantagh School District is being sued by the Roosevelt School District. While I know usually you cannot discuss situations such as this, I was hoping you would shed some light as it is now public and newsworthy. I also understand that the people in the stands involved in the allegations are not our students or parents, but are a group that have been causing havoc around Nassau County High School sporting events. We are now on the hook for legal expenses for the Roosevelt District, and I'm sure you will all agree there is no room in our budget for that. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for that display and presentation. I'm a huge World War II buff, so I had no idea this was happening tonight, so I'm glad I came. I'm not really here to talk about the logo. Obviously, you know where I stand. My question is, though, there was something mentioned with the state about if the child or children walk into the school wearing the logo. Now, my kids have these shirts with the Indian head on it, indigenous people, whatever, we're warriors. I've been in this town for almost 20 years. No one's telling my son or daughter to go home. I'm telling you right now, I have about a list of about almost 50 people in this town who will willing to take legal action if our children are sent home. So I don't know what your stance is on that, but I'm actually here to talk about something else. I have a child in Forest Lake that's graduating or stepping up, and a daughter in the middle school that's stepping up, so I have a very busy month. But I'm part of Mrs. Zimmer's safety committee, which includes, I believe, a Nassau County police officer, some of the staff, security guards, and a few parents. And we get together quarterly to discuss all safety issues. So since being part of that team, I've actually stepped up my own personal education of safety. Recently, I had to drop something off at the middle school for my daughter. And in that little vestibule there were about a half dozen Uber Eats, Grubhub packages. Now, I didn't think about it at first, but the more I thought about it, I was like, listen, I know there's bigger fish to fry, but in the end, all fish goes bad. So this is a small fish, but it's something that could be rectified. What if, and God forbid, someone is deranged or has issues or whatever, and they say, hey, to their friend, go home, get my gun or whatever, or my weapon, go to Chick-fil-A, bring a food, and pretend you're an Uber driver, and bring it in, a Grubhub driver or whatever. Now, that person goes and gets the bag, and now they have a weapon in the school. Now, I was also told by a few people, one person telling me, oh, all the bags are vetted. They all opened up and they're looked. And I spoke to a few security guards who I've become close with over the years, and they tell me they never look in the bags. They're not allowed to because parents have complained. And parents have also called the school and complained that, oh, my daughter's latte was cold, which is beyond ridiculous. So, frankly, and I'm sure a bunch of the high school kids are going to hate me. You could tell them all, come talk to me if they want. I don't really care because my child's safety is the most important thing to me. So I think this is something, and I don't know if it's any other school districts, this is something that should end. It's stupid. Pack your kids a lunch like we all did when I had a lunchbox. I probably still have it in my basement. I'll gladly donate it. Okay? It's something that should be really considered. And again, it's a small thing, and it's an easy fix. So thank you, and thank you again for that night. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mark Mahalik from 3383 Bunker Avenue. The Little League is doing some fundraising to turf at least one field on the Beach Street fields and have been doing so for the past couple of weeks. I'm curious to know the school board's plan for the field and what your plan is to reach out to the surrounding family homes. Thank you.
Hi guys, how you doing? Good evening. Matt Susko, resident, alumni. Sorry for my attire. I didn't know we'd have this opportunity tonight, but about the logo. Actually, it was a very good speech that you had, and I commend you guys for stepping up, especially the Board of Ed that's volunteer. Just wanted to know how you're going to keep us abreast of the progress of this. Would it be something like when Mel Turner the custodian was fired and rehired, how there was a special assembly requested for that. Will there be like will there be regular meetings just for the logo? Because I really want to know the details, and I think I share this with most of the community and you guys yourself. It's so much broader when they say banning a logo. I mean, will every trophy that has the logo on this have to be removed? And, the fellow over there talked about the visibility of his kids' shirts. You know, that would be a big concern too. How deep is it, you know? So I think you guys are doing the right thing, but how would you guys keep us abreast? And if we wanted to have just meetings for this logo, because it is a big, broad thing that would affect the community and the pride of the kids, yeah, I just want to know how that would go. Thanks very much.
Anybody else? Oh, there we go.
I have to just tell you, in the beginning, I was incredibly emotional. It was so beautiful that to see the veterans and all the kids, what a special thing. And I'm overwhelmed by it, and I absolutely loved every minute of it, that you could have that here in this school and to have these kids have this memory. And these veterans just impressed me, and I just loved every minute of it. I also would like to say thank you to Laura for what you stated. That was very thorough. And we are very upset about this. I'm upset about the waste of money. I think that I love the fact that you're going to go after them. You have a lawyer involved. I think, honestly, my opinion is that I feel that it should have also been done sooner. There's so many things in the past that we've had to encounter with Hochul that we should have more of a fight. Like, just imagine if we had all of the schools come together, the superintendent, whatever, and we stand up to her. Who knows if it would work? She's a tyrannical, she's horrible. Whew, I don't want to get, and if you guys could seriously take what we said, I don't know how many people are feeling the way I do. You know how I feel about, I come up every month. And if we could have you guys continuously reach out, write the letters to Hochul like Massapequa, it would just at least be something. So that's where I am on that. And now I just want to get to what I wrote. And I got a good chunk out of that because you spoke, so I thank you for that. And I like what the guy said also about being in on the logo every step of the way. I love that. I also love the fact that didn't even think about it, but I had to pick up my daughter at lunchtime, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I was in the front of the building for 15 minutes, and I started to count the Uber drivers. It had to be in excess of 15. I could not believe it, one after another. We had to move our car up the line because they were just parked. It was insane. So I never thought of that. But I did speak to my husband on that note, and I was like, my God, this is so, there's the safety aspect of this. So I really agree with that as well. So we know all of the schools across the county, including this district, is pushing woke ideology, DEI, and CRT. And my husband and I are opposed to this. God and truth is being taken out of everything. We actually took a tour of 2 different high schools in South Carolina. And I couldn't believe how much time they spent with us. Literally, I was shocked. We were in each school for an hour. They literally took us to the whole school. It was absolutely incredible. And I was pleasantly surprised that they believe parents should have more of a say in their kids' lives, as it should be. They told us if we didn't like, let's say, the woke reading material, it can be flagged in the computer system. And this way my daughter doesn't have access to the woke reading material that we disapprove of. And so my question is, can Wantagh implement a system like that? In Vermont, they are removing male and female terms from lessons on the reproductive system in their elementary schools. I would like to know, since the past 2 years has gone by, has the health curriculum changed? And are there any plans in the future to change the health curriculum? And if the health curriculum does change, I would like the community to be privy of the specific changes. Also, regarding what that first guy stated in terms of security, I will never let this go, but we need armed security guards. So right now, if you look around, we're all facing the stage. If someone were to come in here with a machine gun, what will we be doing? Hiding under these seats and perhaps running to the nearest exit. What are we going to do? I know that the security guards that we have are ex-police officers. They all are allowed to carry outside of the district, outside of school property. And I believe that we should arm our security guards because they are sitting ducks, the same as the rest of us. So that is something I will not let go. Lastly, I would like to know when the audit will be over, the best guess, and how long before we find out the results. And I would like to leave everybody with this. All throughout school and life, we are told to stand up for the weak, be bold. If a teacher, parent, administrator, those serving on the Board of Ed, legislatures, coaches, etc., don't start sticking up for the kids in this generation, who will be to blame? Stand up for what is right and not what we are told to do. You need to do what is hard and not what is easy. Thank you.
Okay, if that's everyone, then we'll close the mic on our public session. I just want to address myself. Two things. I believe Mr. Susko asked about the items in the school already, that such as the plaques and trophies and the logos that appear on those items, the name Warrior, if God forbid we can't keep it, those don't have to be removed. It's all the signage, those types of things are what needs to be removed according to the state regulations. So anything that's historical can stay. Mr. Messina, correct? Mr. Messina, as far as your children wearing, or anybody's children, or parents coming to a sporting event or some sort of, event here at the school, you can wear whatever you want. You can come to school they can come to school in their warrior garb if they still have it and want to wear it. It is only school officials that are not permitted to wear it. So we cannot keep anybody else from wearing whatever they want to wear to school. So that should answer those two questions for you. Okay, thank you.
Great, and I think the only other question regarding the mascot was just process and keeping the community informed. We do regular updates at these meetings, and then when we get to a point, Mr. Susko, when we need to have some discussions with a committee of about the change process for the imagery, we'll be getting stakeholder input. We'll do survey work. We're going to have a committee that will meet, and then we'll give regular updates on the progress. We'll post those updates to the website so you can view it there. We'll give updates here, and then I'll generate letters that'll go out to the community as well about that progress. So we'll keep you updated that way. Mr. Mahalik, was it? Yep. The Wantagh, yes, we had some discussion about Wantagh Little League. They are interested in turfing one of the fields in Beach Street. I believe it's Field 1. That's the one. And they're in the process of seeing if they can afford to do that project and make it as a donation to the district. So we're waiting, final word from them. I'm happy to have discussion with any of the residents in that area at any time. We could, I guess we get a little further along to know more definitively if that project's going to happen and what it's going to look like, the scope. I'm happy to have a meeting and go over that. We can invite the Little League. We can invite the company that'll be doing the work and go over that and hear any concerns that you may have. So please feel free to email me after the meeting and just with your contact info, and I'm happy to reach out to you if you want to be a representative to kind of help coordinate that. That would be great. All right. Yep. And Mr. Susko, Messina, I think that. Oh, and Mrs. DiBiase. So as far as I'll answer the easier ones first. New York State Comptroller audit. The field work is completed. Best guess for a report, probably late fall, early winter. That's typically like process-wise, it would be my guess. And the audit that I believe, if the audit that you're referencing is the comptroller audit, that's what that is. And the curriculum, health curriculum, we follow the New York State health curriculum. So all that's available online. That has really gone unchanged. They haven't had any new standards there that I'm aware of. But I can certainly look at that further for you. And there were some other things there. I don't know if I got it all. But if there's anything else. What's that? Oh, Uber Eats. I'm sorry, I didn't answer that. So we're in the process of taking a look at some security initiatives, Mr. Messina, at the high school and middle school. One of the things we're moving towards is ID badges for secondary students. And one of the things that came up as part of that conversation was that delivery service. So we're going to continue to have that conversation. I don't have a definitive response for you in terms of that ending or not, but that has been part of the conversation we've been having. So I'll be able to get back to you, in the coming months about decisions for next year going forward. Okay. And then lastly, Ms. Beretta, thank you for your question about the press conference that was held today. Some of the media outlets covered it. We were certainly, we're in a difficult position in terms of being able to comment on that because it's a lawsuit. Certainly caught off guard by some of the accusations that were made in there, to be perfectly frank. We were aware of some concerns, but certainly some new concerns that were brought to light had never been brought to light in the past. So we will certainly continue to look at that, work with our attorneys on that, but I can't really comment beyond that. And I apologize. I would love to, but I cannot. So, thank you for your concern. I appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.